there, y'all. How are you guys doing? My name is Danny, and today I'm building something that I'm really pumped to be sharing with you guys. It is a cafe, but the twist is that it's in the bottom, floor of this 3-building cluster that I made to put in San Myshuno, and it looks super duper dope. I really have been meaning to try to copy the building style of this city for so long, because it always seems really approachable. I don't know if you guys take as much time as I do just looking at the buildings around the empty lots or the lots that you're actually allowed to build on, but they often just use the same, graphics, windows, doors, everything that, you have access to in the game. So I always have a fun time trying to copy it. So yeah, that's what I did today. I started doing that, and then I kind of veered off in my own direction and made some changes that I thought made it look better and just flow together a lot better. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this turned out. It actually, man, this one was a bit of a doozy to build. I feel like it took me 5 different days of building to actually get it how I wanted it to look, because I feel like the outside came together pretty coherently, and I think it turned out really nice once I kind of got the window spacing down. But the inside, I cut it from this video just because it was so frustrating. I completely furnished the cafe, and I just thought it looked so bad. I hated it, and I was so frustrated with it, and so I took a couple days off of just leaving it alone, and then I came back and was able to just totally do it how I wanted it to. And so anyway, I leave that part in the video because it actually is the final result. I toyed with leaving the original furnishing in the video, but I don't know. On one hand, I think it's realistic because it shows the building process from my end. You don't just have it perfect the first time. Sometimes you have to walk away and figure it out and try a bunch of different things. And spoiler alert, that's true. But it made the video so long, and I thought it was kind of weird that I show you all this progress and then, delete all of it. So I just took it out. Hopefully that's okay with you. But yeah, spoiler alert, I'm not perfect. And I had to redo it. But yeah, you can see here I'm just kind of, starting out with this first building. There's 3 pretty unique buildings all clustered onto the same lot, like I said. So this is the one that the cafe's in. The cafe's in this bottom level that's a different color than the rest of the building. I kind of drew inspiration from my own workplace actually for that, because I work in a historical building in Columbus, and the outside of it's really, really rustic, and there's a bunch of apartments on the upper floors, but my bar is on the first floor, and it's kind of like this where they kind of made one layer of it look different. So I did that. That looked really nice. I started out making it black because I think I wanted it to be black, and then I just kind of was no, it looks better with this painted brick. So that's what you end up with. It looks pretty nice. But yeah, so this is another building. I drew inspiration from some of the buildings you can kind of see in the background there, just with the way the front is. And oh man, it was so frustrating. One of the things I don't like about foundations in The Sims is that you can't have one building have one foundation level and another building have another foundation level on the same lot. Because what I really wanted was for this building on the left to have a really thick foundation so I could make a really nice steep stair, but I couldn't. So you can see me kind of goofing around with it a couple times, but it ended up looking fine. I actually so all of the buildings and all of the spaces within these buildings except for the cafe is totally blank, intentionally. So you'll see I'll put a door on this building on the left, but then I just completely fence it off so Sims can't go in there. I don't know. I feel like it makes sense because you only can have a certain number of Sims spawn on a lot at one point anyway. And I feel this is no shade to creators who make really badass huge buildings that have completely furnished shops in them and a million things. I think that's super dope. Just in my own game, I don't want that many things going on the same lot because I think it gets a little busy and it's hard to corral Sims and it doesn't feel populated, and it just I don't like it for my game. I don't think that it's bad if you like it for your game. Anyway, so that's what I did. But again, along those lines, if you are inspired by this building and if you want to take it in a different direction, like if you want to completely fill it up, or if you want to delete the cafe and turn it into something else, or I don't know, do whatever you want with this, totally cool. I'd love to see you try to mess with this and refurbish it and do whatever you want. I think that this is one of my favorite builds, and I think that it has a lot of potential to go a couple different ways. Honestly, if you don't do it, I'm probably going to do some experimentation with it down the line, maybe put in some apartment buildings or something like that, just because I think that it lends itself to it, you know, like it's a giant apartment building. But yeah, so here, oh my gosh, I'm so glad this is fed up. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to make a fire escape in The Sims before. It was hell. It was so terrible. You can't tell how long this takes me, and how much I'm struggling, but this process was so tedious just because the stairs were so glitchy and they didn't want to go where I had to go, or I wanted them to go rather. And also, like, I'm pretty sure like the middle 2 levels of this building are on the tallest stair height or wall height, and then the bottom level is the shortest wall height, and the top level is the middle wall height, if I remember correctly. So that made it weird too, because some of the stairs had to go longer than the other stairs, so it didn't line up right, and it was just a whole thing. But I figured it out. I ended up like actually like going on the gallery and like trying to find other buildings that people had put fire escapes in so that I could try to replicate how they did it, because the other thing was I couldn't for the life of me figure out like how to do the support beams. I was like, should I use these like items from Get to Work? I don't know, but yeah, no, I think it comes together in the end. Actually, another thing, if you feel like, you know, renovating this at all, or, you know, that I might do in the future, because these stairs are functional, like you can get to the roof. I think it'd be really cool to have something up there, like you could put some gardens up there, or maybe I was thinking it'd be fun to put maybe like a bar, like one of those little smoke things, or, you know, you could just take your sim here and like at sunset you could do like a proposal and it'd be really cute. Or if you have just like some angsty teen sims. Oh, you know what I might do? Well, it's already on the gallery shoot. I was gonna say what I might do is put one of those little graffiti things like on the floor, on the ceiling up there. I think that could look really cool. Then you could take your angsty teen sims up there and they could cause trouble, but that's easy enough for you to do if you feel like you want to do that. But yeah, just kind of finishing up that second building there. I put a little trash area back there. And this third building actually was the hardest, I think, for me to make, mostly because I wasn't entirely sure the direction I wanted to go with it when I first started building it. You'll see I like kind of do a 180 on the direction I'm going with the building. Well, actually, I don't even know how how intentional it looks like my actions are, because I originally was going to make it look like it was kind of like a fancy building, like maybe like a nice restaurant or a steakhouse. Was kind of like the vibe I was going to make it have. And then I quickly decided I didn't want to do that because I didn't think it fit the area, and I wanted to put in a warehouse instead. So it'll look like a warehouse soon enough. This is me just kind of like dicking around with some experimentation, and I was unhappy with it, but don't worry, it's all going to change. But actually, it's interesting that I bring up the steakhouse idea, because I was thinking, because there's an empty lot next to this building and I wanted to fill it up. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to put there. I think I want to make maybe like a fancy restaurant. I think that it could look really, really good. I'm torn. It's either that or I'm going to put in like a like a homeless shelter, which I realize is not a traditional community lot we have in The Sims, but I was doing a rags to riches just on my own time. And while I was doing it, I went down this rabbit hole on the community okay, oh my gosh, let me back up. I was doing rags to riches and I wanted to make like a little like homeless tent area. And so I went on the community to like draw inspiration, and there was some creator, I forget their name, I'm so sorry, but they made a homeless shelter, which was just like a library lot, but they had literally just like set it up as a homeless shelter. And they were like, you can use this if you're doing like a rags to riches challenge, or just generally if you have a poor sim, and then they can go here and use the facilities, and it's like really nice. And I was like, oh, I actually really like the idea of that for the realism, and I think it makes a lot of sense being in the city. So I don't know, you guys can let me know if you like the idea of that. I'll do a build, and I might just do it anyway because it kind of sounds like it'd be fun to do. But I'll do that, and then, you know, whatever. I'll see what I decide I think would look better on the lot next to it. Okay, so we just cut to the inside. You can see here like little remnants of how I had originally built the inside of this, and it just wasn't working. It didn't look good. I felt so frustrated. I originally had it kind of like all diagonal, and it wasn't a good use of the space. And I didn't know how to fill up the empty space that I had. It just kind of created a lot of weird shapes within the building. There wasn't really any flow or cohesion, so I had to redo it. It was driving me crazy. But you can see here, just kind of putting everything where it goes, making things look good and normal. So yeah, but now it's just like when you go in at first, it's where you get your coffee and your pastry and whatever, and it's super nice. And I played with it a little bit. The Sims didn't get too clustered up there, because that's always my biggest problem with cafes, is I feel like the Sims don't know how to create a just normal line, and then they all are like walking on top of each other, and they all just cluster right there. It drives me nuts. But long story short, it is not like that. So, or at least it wasn't like that when I was testing it. So hopefully it's not like that for you if you put it in your game. But yeah, I made just like this very cute little, almost like living space. I don't know what you call this kind of decorating style. Very rustic. I don't know, a little bit industrial. Have a lot of metals and woods and like leathers. It's very nice. I love this feeling, and it just felt cozy to me. I feel like this would be a really nice place to come to in real life if you could. Here I'm still kind of figuring out the floor plan, and there's this like big area right here that I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with, but you'll see in a little bit. I actually put in kind of like an internet bar sort of thing, or a computer bar. I don't know what those are called. It's just like kind of a bunch of bar stools all up against the window there, and they all have computers. If we had laptops in the game, I would 1000% put laptops there instead, but we don't, so there's some desktops just hanging out over there. And then I put in another little what do you want to call it, like couch setup or whatever. I was really playing with these chairs here because I was originally going to make it look more like a business meeting kind of vibe, I guess, but I was like, nah, it doesn't feel like it fits with the rest of the space that I've created here. So I just changed it up, and you'll see I put in another couch there in a second. But yeah, here's me putting in that internet bar, lots of chairs, and the Sims use that a lot. I was really pleased with that. I try to have kind of like a library-esque space in every world that I have, just because I don't know, especially if your Sims are just starting off, you probably don't have a computer, and it's nice to have community lots that have computers in them. You know what I mean? I think it just makes sense. So if I don't end up having any kind of library space in San Myshuno, I think it'll be nice to have a cafe, because I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, I don't think it necessarily makes sense that there'll already be a computer at a cafe for you, but you know, at least there are computers at a cafe. That's not too far-fetched. So yeah, just did that for you. Things are kind of just coming together here. I just do this, and then I'm pretty sure we go back outside and just throw in a couple more detail elements to the outside of the building, because I didn't want it to look too just like cookie cutter, like neutral. I wanted it to look like people lived in the apartment buildings, or at least, you know, when in those spaces. So anyway, I'll do that. Oh yeah, and then just got some bathrooms over here, nothing too crazy. I've like been toying with the idea, because like, I don't know, when I do community spaces, I always do something kind of like this with like 2 bathrooms with a bunch of stalls in it. But realistically, you never have like more than 1 or 2 Sims going to the bathroom at one point in time, just because of how many Sims ever spawn on a lot. And I feel like maybe, I don't know, I'm feeling a lot of dissonance because part of me wants it to look as realistic as possible. But another part of me is like, maybe this is a waste of space. You know, like I could be doing something else cool here instead of making it all bathroom. I don't know. So maybe I'll toy with that more in the future. Oh, also, so when I player tested this, I found that the barista Sims couldn't get behind the barista bar, or at least at first, the way I concluded looking in this video. But don't worry, I actually make that little 1x5 space that you might have seen over there into a little bit of like a hallway, so they can just go through there to get behind it. So don't worry if you saw that and you were like yelling at your screen that the Sims couldn't get back there. You're right. Also, I fixed it, so don't worry. And just kind of sprucing up the place. I just put in a couple of different like weird decor things that made it look like it was more like a cityscape, you know. Just so there's a little parking meter and a couple of those big planter boxes over on the side, and I put in like a little drain coming off of one of the buildings, just stuff to make it all look good. But yeah, kind of closing things out here now, so I'll let you kind of watch the rest of the video on your own. But again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and subscribe and give me any feedback you have. I want to hear it. But yeah, have a good rest of your day. Bye.